Hello and welcome back to Fallonits. It is just me today, and I need to confess something deeply embarrassing, something that reveals just how broken my brain used to be. Are you ready? I once spent 3 hours choosing a toothbrush. 3 hours in a drugstore, staring at a wall of toothbrushes like I was choosing a spouse. I read every package. I compared bristle firmness. I researched handle grip technology. I watch videos on my phone about oscillating versus rotating heads. For a toothbrush, a thing that costs $4 and goes in your mouth for 2 minutes a day. 3 hours. I walked out of that store exhausted, overwhelmed, and somehow still not sure if I made the right choice. That is perfectionism. That is the disease I want to talk about today. The disease that convinces you that every decision matters equally, that every choice must be optimized, that anything less than perfect is failure. And the cure? A simple, beautiful, life-changing rule. The good enough rule. I call it perfectionism paralysis. And it is everywhere. It is the reason you have not started that YouTube channel. You are waiting for the perfect camera, the perfect lighting, the perfect script. It is the reason you have not asked that person out. You are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect outfit, the perfect line. It is the reason you have not changed careers. You are waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect safety net. And while you are waiting, life is passing you by. The perfect moment never comes. It never has. It never will. Because perfection does not exist. It is a ghost. It is a mirage. It is the brain's favorite way to keep you safe and small. And today, I am going to teach you how to escape it. Let me tell you about the moment I realized I had a problem. It was not the toothbrush incident. Believe it or not, that was just a symptom. The real moment was when I was trying to write my first real piece of content. I was 22. I had an idea for a blog post, a simple blog post. 500 words about something I cared about. I sat down at my computer. I opened a blank document, and then I stared at the blinking cursor for 4 hours. For hours. I wrote one sentence. Then I deleted it. Then I wrote another sentence. Then I deleted that too. Nothing was good enough. Every word felt wrong. Every idea felt stupid. I was convinced that if I could not write the perfect post, I should not write anything at all. At the end of 4 hours, I had nothing. 0 words. Just a headache and a deep sense of failure. That is perfectionism paralysis. Not the fear of failing. The fear of not being perfect. And it is absolutely crippling. So I want to walk you through what I have learned about perfectionism, where it comes from, why it is so dangerous, and most importantly, how to beat it with a good enough rule. Let me break this down into 7 parts. First, let's talk about where perfectionism comes from, because it is not your fault. You were trained to be this way. Think about school. In school, you were graded. 100% was perfect. 99% was almost perfect, but still a mistake. 70% felt like failure. School taught you that anything less than perfect was a loss, that every wrong answer mattered, that you should check your work, revise your answers, and never turn in anything less than your absolute best. That is fine for a math test. That is not fine for life. Life is not a math test. Life does not have answer keys. Life does not give you points for staying up all night to make something slightly better. Life rewards completion. Life rewards starting. Life rewards showing up. But our brains were trained in the school system, so we carry that perfectionism into everything. We think every decision is graded. We think every project has a score. We think people are watching and judging and waiting to deduct points. They are not. No one cares that much. No one is grading your life. But your brain does not know that, so you have to teach it. Second, let me explain the cost of perfectionism. And I am not talking about emotional cost, though that is huge. I am talking about practical, measurable, wasted time and opportunity. Every hour you spend making something slightly better is an hour you could have spent making something else. Every day you wait for the perfect moment is a day you could have already been done. Every decision you overthink is energy you could have put into action. Perfectionism does not make your work better. It makes your work later. And late is often worse than imperfect. A mediocre video that comes out today will get more views than a perfect video that comes out never. An average date that happens this weekend is better than the perfect date that never happens because you are too nervous to ask. An okay job you start now is better than the ideal job you're still researching 6 months later. Done is better than perfect. I need you to write that down. Done is better than perfect. Repeat it out loud. Done is better than perfect, because that sentence will save you years of paralysis. Third, let me introduce you to the good enough rule. It is very simple. For any decision or task, you decide ahead of time what good enough looks like. Then you stop when you hit that mark, not when you hit perfect. When you hit good enough. Let me give you an example. When I write a script for this channel, I used to spend days editing and rewriting. I would change one word, then change it back. I would rearrange paragraphs for hours. I would never feel done. Now I use the good enough rule. I decide before I start that good enough means a script that is clear, has a beginning, middle, and end, and makes at least one point that might help someone. That is it. I do not need every sentence to be beautiful. I do not need every joke to land. I just need good enough. And you know what happens? I finish the script in 2 hours instead of 2 days. And guess what else? The viewers cannot tell the difference. They never could, because good enough is usually way closer to perfect than you think. Your standard for perfect is way higher than anyone else's standard for good, so you are suffering for no audience. No one is judging you as harshly as you are judging yourself. So lower the bar. Not a lot, just enough to let you finish. Fourth, let me give you a practical tool. It is called the 80% rule. The idea is simple. Do not aim for 100%. Aim for 80%. Get the thing to 80% of where you want it to be. Then stop, because that last 20% takes 80% of the time. And that last 20% is usually invisible to everyone except you. No one will notice that you spent an extra 3 hours fixing the alignment on a graphic. No one will notice that you rewrote that email 7 times. No one will notice that you stressed over the font choice for 20 minutes. They will notice if you never send the email. They will notice if you never publish the graphic. So get it to 80%. Ship it. Move on. The 80% rule applies to almost everything. Emails, school projects, work presentations, cleaning your room, cooking dinner, planning a trip, designing a website, writing a script. Get it to 80%. Then let it go. You can always come back and improve it later if you need to. But you cannot improve something that does not exist. So get it to existing first. Perfect later. Or never. Most things do not need perfect. Most things just need done. Fifth, let me talk about the fear underneath perfectionism. Because perfectionism is not about high standards. Not really. Perfectionism is about fear. Fear of judgment. Fear of failure. Fear of looking stupid. Fear of being seen as not good enough. So you try to protect yourself by making everything flawless. If it is perfect, no one can criticize it. If it is perfect, you are safe. That is the lie. The truth is that perfect things get criticized too. Everything gets criticized. The most beautiful painting in the world has haters. The most successful movie has 1-star reviews. The most loved person on earth has enemies. You cannot avoid criticism by being perfect, because perfect does not exist. And even if it did, someone would still find something to complain about. So you are hiding behind an impossible shield. The real courage is not making something perfect. The real courage is making something good enough and showing it to the world anyway. Knowing that someone might not like it. Knowing that someone might laugh. And doing it anyway. That is bravery. That is freedom. That is the opposite of perfectionism paralysis. 6. Let me give you some examples of how the good enough rule applies to real-life decisions that teenagers and young adults face every day. The big ones that keep you stuck. Choosing a college. You are terrified of picking the wrong one, so you research for months. You visit campuses. You make spreadsheets. You ask everyone's opinion. Stop. Use the good enough rule. Is the college accredited? Does it have your major? Is it in a location you can tolerate? Is it affordable? Good enough. Pick one. You can transfer if you hate it. The cost of waiting is higher than the cost of being wrong. Choosing a career. You think you need to find your passion, your one true calling. That is a lie. Most people do not have one passion. They have several, and they change over time. Use the good enough rule. Find something you do not hate, something that pays enough, something that has room to grow. Good enough. Start there. You can change later. Every career change is easier than never starting. Choosing a partner. You are looking for the perfect person, the soulmate, the one. That is a movie script. Real relationships are about good enough. Someone who shares your values. Someone who treats you with respect. Someone who makes you laugh sometimes. Someone who tries. Good enough. Because perfect does not exist. Every person has flaws. Every relationship has problems. The question is not, is this person perfect? The question is, are there flaws ones you can live with? That is a good enough rule for relationships. And it is way more realistic than a fairy tale. Starting a business or a YouTube channel or a creative project. You think you need the perfect name, the perfect logo, the perfect equipment, the perfect strategy. You do not. You need good enough. A terrible first video is better than a perfect video that never gets made. A basic logo is fine. A name that does not embarrass you is fine. Start. You will learn by doing. You will improve over time. But you cannot improve if you never start. Posting on social media. You spend an hour crafting the perfect caption. You filter the photos 7 times. You wait for the perfect time to post. Stop. Good enough is fine. Post it. No one is analyzing your captions. No one is comparing your filters. They scroll for half a second and move on. You are giving way too much energy to things that do not matter. 7th, let me tell you how to start using the good enough rule today. It is a practice. You will not get it right away. Your perfectionist brain will fight you, but you can train it. Here is how. Start with tiny decisions. What to eat for lunch. Do not spend 10 minutes deciding. Pick the first thing that sounds fine. Good enough. Eat it. Notice that you survived. Notice that the world did not end. Notice that you saved 9 minutes. Move to small tasks. Writing an email. Do not rewrite it 5 times. Write it once. Check for major errors. Send it. Good enough. Notice that no one replied saying your email was mediocre. Notice that no one cares. Then move to bigger things. A school project. Do not aim for an A+. Aim for AB+. Good enough. Do the work. Turn it in. Notice that AB+ still passes. Notice that no one asks about the difference between AB+ and an A-. Notice that the A+ student is not happier than you. Then apply it to your biggest dreams. The YouTube channel you have been planning for 2 years. Stop planning. Film something. Anything. Good enough. Post it. Notice that the world does not laugh at you. Notice that some people actually like it. Notice that the second video is better than the first, and that the 10th is better than the 5th, but only because you started. One more thing. You need to learn to be comfortable with mediocre. Not all the time. Not on things that actually matter, but on most things. Most things in life are not that important. Most decisions do not change your life. Most tasks do not need your best effort. They just need your effort. Save your perfectionism for the things that truly matter. Your health, your core relationships, your most important creative work. Everything else? Good enough. Let it be average. Let it be sloppy. Let it be done. I want to share a personal story about how the good enough rule saved my creative life. After that 4-hour blank document disaster, I almost gave up on writing. I thought I was broken. I thought I had no talent. Then I heard someone say the phrase done is better than perfect, and I decided to try something. I gave myself 30 minutes to write the worst blog post in history. I said out loud, I am going to write something terrible. I am going to use bad words. I am going to have bad grammar. I am going to make no sense. I just have to finish in 30 minutes. And I wrote. I did not stop. I did not delete. I did not judge. I just typed. At the end of 30 minutes, I had 800 words. They were bad words, but they were words. A document existed where, before there was nothing. I read it back. It was not as bad as I thought. It was actually okay. Not great, but okay. Good enough. I posted it. People read it. Some people liked it. No one hated it. That day, I broke the perfectionism paralysis, and I have never looked back. I still struggle with it. The toothbrush incident happened after that, so it is not cured, but I have tools now. I have the good enough rule, and it has saved me thousands of hours of paralysis. Let me give you one more tool. It is called the 5-minute rule. When you are stuck, when you cannot start because you're afraid it will not be perfect, set a timer for 5 minutes. Tell yourself you only have to work on it for 5 minutes. Anyone can do 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you can stop, but what usually happens is that starting is the hardest part. Once you start, you keep going. The 5-minute rule tricks your perfectionist brain. It says, we are not committing to a perfect project. We are just committing to 5 minutes of messy work. And 5 minutes of messy work is easy. So try it. Next time you're paralyzed, set a timer for 5 minutes. Do the thing badly. Just badly. That is allowed. Then see what happens. I also want to talk about the relationship between perfectionism and social media. Because social media is a perfectionism machine. You see everyone's highlight reel. You see the perfect photos, the perfect bodies, the perfect lives. And you think, I cannot post until my life looks like that. That is a trap. Those people are not perfect. They are just good at curating. And the curation is exhausting. Post a messy photo. Post the unedited video. Post the real you. You will be surprised how many people prefer real over perfect. Authenticity is rare. Authenticity is valuable. Perfect is boring. Perfect is forgettable. Real is interesting. Real is relatable. So be real. Be messy. Be good enough. Let me leave you with this. Perfectionism is not a virtue. It is not a sign of high standards. It is a defense mechanism. It is a way of protecting yourself from the possibility of failure by making sure you never actually try. And it works. If you never finish anything, no one can judge your finished work. If you never start, no one can see you fail. But you also never succeed. You never grow. You never get the thing you actually want. So you have to choose. Do you want to be safe? Or do you want to be free? Safe is not starting. Safe is waiting for perfect. Safe is never being seen. Free is starting anyway. Free is good enough. Free is showing up messy and real and imperfect. I choose free. I hope you choose free too. Here is your challenge from Falonets. After this video ends, do not scroll away. Think of one thing you have been waiting to do perfectly. One video you have not filmed. One conversation you have not had. One project you have not started. One decision you have not made. Now, give yourself permission to do it badly. Just badly. Good enough badly. Do it today, not tomorrow. Today. Send the imperfect text. Film the shaky video. Write the messy first draft. Make the okay decision. Then look at what you did and say out loud, good enough. Feel the relief. Feel the freedom. That feeling is better than perfection. That feeling is called living. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me talk about my 3-hour toothbrush nightmare. If this video helped you, share it with someone who is stuck waiting for perfect. They need permission to be good enough. And hey, if you are watching this and you are still overthinking whether to subscribe, stop. Good enough. Just do it. You can always change your mind later. That is the good enough rule in action. This is Falonets signing off. Perfect is a lie. Good enough is a superpower. Use it. See you in the next one.